When the sacred surrounds you with signs. On encounters with thin places and what lies beyond everyday perception. Earth is so thick with divine possibility that it is a wonder we can walk anywhere without cracking our shins on altars. Barbara Brown Taylor, from An Altar in the World. I begin with the prelude from my first book, Journey to Embarkation. This poem describes the shift of focus from my life's work in environmental science and engineering to a more contemplative mindset in retirement. It illustrates two broad approaches to pushing beyond everyday perception to experience the world more deeply, from logical analysis to contemplation, from intellectual effort to the comfort of fading. There were years of prime when I looked upon a living bay, pulsing with life, pulled by celestial bodies, and saw numerical mesh stretching through the sterile ether. Such a stately parade of symbols set in spare beauty. Partial C's, sliding slopes of Q and E, X and T, but no longer. The crystalline equations fade. Their symbols spill off dog-eared pages graced with arcs of coffee stain, in manuals with my name inside, and broken backs now boxed and stored in cardboard tombs of moth and mildew, must and tears. I find my life now softly fallen in the gentle in-between, while plowing through uncharted now as Voyager passed the heliopause, no longer here, but not yet there. So I shut my eyes in warm sun and drift down whole days. The world is my backyard, the afterlife unfenced. I wander a peaceable kingdom where voices chant in strange tongues from the distance of dreams. And though I cannot catch their meaning, sure as Voyager shoots beyond, I shall sing their soul unknowing. We cannot directly experience the whole of reality or the world as it is. Our normal, everyday perception is limited by our senses and focused on utility. They evolved to help us navigate our niche in the world. The subset of reality that we experience, our perceptual world, is known as our umwelt. Other beings live in their own umwelts. Bees, for example, can see the ultraviolet light that marks their target in the center of some flowers. Dogs have dichromatic vision, perceiving the world mainly in shades of blue and yellow, but experience a vivid scentscape that we perceive only dimly. But we humans have the ability to expand our umwelt and even push beyond it to understand elements of the world we cannot directly experience. Through systematic observation, controlled experimentation, mathematics and logic, science and technology have revealed a hidden order not evident in our day-to-day lives. This world of hidden order is characterized by cause and effect, contingency, and emergence, which Ursula Goodenough has described as something new from nothing but. We humans have a different kind of ability to expand and even push beyond our umwelt. Through visual art, poetry, and music, the use of metaphor, meditation, and prayer, the arts and religion describe a hidden wholeness not evident in our everyday lives. This hidden wholeness reveals a world of unity, beauty, awe, and harmony. Taking seriously our insights into both hidden order and hidden wholeness yields a more complete knowledge of reality. Religious naturalism, for example, takes nature to heart as well as mind, offering a deeper experience of the world as it is. Insights from science and those from arts and religion may converge. Carl Sagan famously wrote that we are, literally, stardust, emerging from natural cosmic evolution. At the same time, Joni Mitchell sang that we are, figuratively, stardust, golden beings in a world of harmony. Both counseled that we have to get back to the garden. Beyond the disciplines of science and the practices of the arts and religion, is there a more direct way to experience the larger world of order, wholeness, and beauty? Ancient Celtic spirituality offers the concept of thin places, where the veil between the physical and spiritual worlds is permeable. In a thin place, you can feel a stronger presence of the divine. Some examples of thin places include sacred sites, cathedrals, shrines, and altars. Wild locations such as deserts, mountaintops, and coastlines, or beautiful locations such as gardens or other natural settings. Finally, ordinary settings, when freshly experienced, such as revisited childhood neighborhoods. Thin places evoke a sense of the sacred, sometimes with feelings of fear and awe, sometimes with feelings of peace and harmony, and often the altered perception of time. Now I offer a few of my own brief encounters with thin places. These are expressed in 7 poems from my book, 13 Moons in a Day, Poems on Seasons Relived. I hope these will prompt your own memories and allow you to re-experience them from this ancient Celtic perspective. Sometimes it takes you by surprise, perhaps as you take a solitary walk on a shadowy woodland trail, immersed in a tranquil hush and enveloped by the pungent scent of decaying leaves. You round a bend in the path through a bright opening to a close encounter with an old field. It's just an old field. I've been back more than once, perplexed at how ordinary, in the light of late afternoon, or morning, or the glare of noon. It's gone. Whatever was is not now. It seems a shame the untamed rush replaced by shrug and stolen glance at time. The slow ride home for reheated leftovers to sustain my aging. It was fall when I went wandering, blazed paths through the pungent hush of hickory, beech, and white oak stands, to forest edge at right-of-way cut straight across the curve of hills where I stood blinking back the light. By the sun-splashed shores of an old field grown wild, breaking over asphalt slabs which once went somewhere beyond the post-hole fence that vainly holds back green swells of sumac and thistle, tangled in turbulence, sparkling in the silent roar of a thin place opening onto an emerald sea, in the presence of which I would remove my shoes, wash my soul in sunlight, and float the timeless warmth to a new heaven and a new earth. But that was all and over soon, just slant of light and insect drone. No still small voice that could be heard above the buzz and background trill. So was it somehow up to me to say aloud what hangs in air? All flesh is grass, its beauty as the flower of the field that dies with fall, been said by better than one who wanted just right then, no more than now in this sweet earth, of distant laughter, lovers strolling, mothers holding tiny hands by grandpas lost in memories, reliving childhood, running free. Right there beneath the freshening breeze, a shadow passed inside of me. You know your heart, not that of mine. And in the sudden hush I heard a hymn of weeds set in my mind. Take the sun and set your roots, soften earth and heal the scars. For several seasons I've returned, but never caught the song again, never learned what sang from the silence inside. Deserts, coastlines, mountains. Wild places can overwhelm everyday perception with feelings of awe, a sense of an immense, untamed other. On the island of Maui, you might encounter this presence on the cold, barren, windswept peak of an extinct volcano, Haleakala. From the fertile plain at Pukalani, you ascend the flank of Haleakala through tall stands of shady koa to white pine and pasture, scrub bush and boulder, silver sword and cinder, sky, wind. Realm of cold light and piercing shadow, where psyche expands into the silence of stern truths rendered in whispers without words. You were given a garden and precious days numbered. You do not belong here, but linger and count the shades of gold in the sunset below. Then descend through darkness and find your own fertile plain to cultivate and sustain through every ordinary day that may remain as servant, helper, partner, friend. We know that life is a precious gift, but one that comes with a price, the inevitability of death. Most avoid this uncomfortable truth when immersed in everyday life. During bouts of sickness and the decline of aging, though, you may experience periods overwhelmed by intimations of mortality. Know that on the other side, hope beckons with a springtime promise. There are springtime Saturdays bursting with birdsong and breeze so sweet. No set of sun salutations, no hymn of praise could say such love. When life breathes light and you run for hours on joy alone, do not forget these days. For there will be fortnights filled with fail, when the world assaults your spirit with chainsaws at 8 sharp on days that follow frantic weeks of sleep denied, when fears converge on fitful nights, when cynicism drains your life, your heart grows dim beneath bright skies, which mock your lonely soul with lies that love persists and life abides. For flesh is grass that withers, dries. When summer brings its scorching breath and blows untethered hope to shreds, do not forget the spring. For there will be seasons when you find yourself, dark pilgrim, plunging through too many tomorrows, so lost salvation is just a set of syllables in some forgotten tongue. When paths wind inward, spiral aimless, down through tangles, torn convictions, worn out dreams, forsaken, trapped, in mental mazes, soul cries out against the ages, curses life, denies it twice, that broken vessel born to die, do not forget the darkest times. But there will be springtime Saturdays when you find your heart strangely calm, when the sacred surrounds you with signs, for it's written on the lattice of a late season frost and whispered in the midnight storm that peace, perhaps, will find you yet. Perhaps for you a pulse and breath, for you the tilt and turn of earth, for you a patch of morning sun. We live much of our lives on autopilot, attending to obligations. The world flows by unnoticed. Yet everyday moments in ordinary settings are not immune from the unexpected opening of a thin place. It can even happen when reading on a deck one balmy winter day. I was interrupted by a sunset of the understated kind, ragged layers of gray overlain by islands of off-white sky. I don't remember when, but the wind had died. Not a breath disturbed the bare tips and twisted limbs of winter trees, while underneath the whole world shone. Nothing you could capture by camera. Nothing to inspire a song. A gentle river washed the world with white noise, a still spell soon cracked by the call of a Carolina wren. Listen, we live only moments and notice so few. Will you close the book? Would you shut down the screen? Look, Night sweeps from the east beyond the speed of sound. Gray deepens the shade. Dull lace of red maple darkens. The cream sky turns coral. Shadows merge. Somehow creation holds together. Even in darkness, the world glows. Some locations are tightly woven into earlier moments in your life. To revisit them evokes a strong sense of déjà vu. Relax deeply into the experience, and memories will merge with present moment awareness. You find yourself drawn into a thin place strewn with gossamer fossils. We often walked a woodland trail that wound beside these river shoals. Now I linger alone on the shadowy bank, where long ago on a sultry day I sat in the shade, lulled by a breeze, while my dogs dug into humus and bedded down in cool dirt to savor the bottomland scent. Once again, I ease into a reverie, watching water rushing by the rock-strewn reach to sculpted pools, where dappled sunlight filters through the hidden depths that harbor life beneath the streamside canopy. I hear the ethereal water thrush calling from a hidden perch, and the same bold notes of wren song beyond the old gneiss boulder patched with moss and lichens. I sense a presence lost in time that haunts the ever-fresh present. It seems to bear the sadness of moments buried years ago. I feel a fleeting sweetness too condensed from bits of memory, those gossamer fossils left by a living web that binds our souls with unseen thread. We are built for beauty. Gardens are a treasured feature found in all cultures. You may enjoy a garden in the company of loved ones or friends, but if you wander alone in the thrall of the present moment, a thin place may open. Weightless, you drift into paradise. I went there once and yearned to share, to bring you beauty. I would bring you beauty if I only knew how. I would slip into spirit, dissolve into autumn breeze, which carries the scent of crimson sage, to clouds of yellow butterflies in the afternoon light of their lives. I'd hover with a bumblebee in the spell of a purple aster, then drift in scented air on the lilting riff of mockingbird song, the swerve of a skipper, a toddler's giggle, through the elusive realm where beauty infuses all being. I would bring you a portion, but reaching, it slips through re-embodied hands and recedes like time itself, its lingering afterglow reflected in clouds of evening gnats. Sometimes beauty comes for us. Those moments are a premonition of paradise, but one that you must relinquish as life inevitably moves on. Perfection fades, and you are left with the ache at the edge of autumn. Heaven drifts in on an autumn day when dry leaves filter long moments and the very air caresses the land. When boundaries collapse and being extends until all is kindness dappled in afternoon light. You inhabit a living songscape and hear the choir of the wood cricket humming an ode to existence itself. A fresh wind renews the sky. The river course restores its water. A romp of otters slips upstream. The whole of life has brought you here, time fulfilled in a moment of joy. Consummation always comes. An afternoon forever fades. There's an ache at the edge of an autumn day when time trends toward waning and earth spins ever away. There's an ache an octave above pain, a register beyond joy. Built in the core of creation, forged in the fire of the long ago making when the great winding down began. There's an ache impressed on the cosmic tapestry through the ever-expanding void. I am is its cry, ever fading. There's an urge to return that is etched on us all, but home is a haven gracing the past. Do you feel the ache inside your soul? It burns but does not consume. Heaven is somewhere adjacent to here. Eternity dances the edges of fall. This has been a re-recording of a lesson I gave at University United Methodist Church Explorers Sunday School class in Austin, Texas. It was recorded in the Lovely Lane Chapel at Epworth by the Sea on St. Simon's Island, Georgia. Thank you for watching. I hope it has been a blessing.